Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Kevin Grimes, Chief Compliance Administrator.
Good morning. How you guys doing? I am from Idaho, and it is so wonderful not to be in the teens in terms of temperature. I can actually wear something other than my parka, so I'm delighted to be here. And I am this morning's demotivational speaker. Okay, I'm here to talk about compliance. Actually, I'm here to talk about two things, and I just wanted to ask your permission to see if it'd be okay for me to talk about them. Number one, I'd like to talk about how you can keep your business in business. Is that okay? Okay, and then secondly, I'd like to talk about how you can keep MonaVie in business. Is that okay? All right. Well, I know that this sounds a little negative, but you know, there are a lot of things out there that can hurt your business or that can hurt MonaVie's business, but nothing can affect them or hurt them or kill them as fast as legal problems. So I want to talk about a couple landmine kind of areas to avoid. Actually, I want to talk about kind of three hot topics. And the first one is income claims. How many of you guys have ever been involved in network marketing before? Two? And how many people make income, or how many income claims have you heard in the context of network marketing? A couple? One or two? Okay, all right. Believe it or not, if you thought that the government wants to regulate everything, your suspicions are right. A couple years ago, I did a little research project, and I went back and I checked out all of the cases that the Federal Trade Commission had filed within the preceding 5 years relative to network marketing or purported network marketing companies. And without exception, and the thing that gets a lawsuit started is called a complaint. And these complaints typically have several things that they claim a company or a defendant is doing wrong. And in these FTC cases, there are typically 3 to 5 counts that the government alleges that a company is doing wrong. And what was interesting about these complaints is that in all of these cases, and there were a lot, in every single complaint, the majority, and in some cases, all of the counts involved income claims and earnings representations, okay? So if anybody thinks that income claims are not a white-hot topic in this industry, they're sadly mistaken. It's a big deal. And of course, a lot of people don't understand why it's a big deal, because if it's really true that I make $2,000 a month with the company, and I can back it up with copies of my check stubs or my 1099, I can substantiate it, I can verify it, it's truthful. Why is it a problem for me to show people my check? Well, first of all, let me ask, just by show of hands, how many of you guys would say it's okay, if it's really true, if you can document it, is it okay for you to show people your check? How many of you guys say yes? How many of you guys would say no? Okay. It is a problem because there are 3 requirements the government has relative to any promotional activity, whether we're talking about sharing the income opportunity or sharing the products with folks. And they are, number 1, substantiation, number 2, fairness, and number 3, non-deception. And the problem is that even though you really do make $2,000 a month and you can substantiate it and it's absolutely truthful, it's deceptive without additional information. And the reason that it's deceptive is because it leads the prospect to believe that everybody makes $2,000 a month, or most people make $2,000 a month, or it's easy to make $2,000 a month, none of which are probably true. And so without additional information, it's deceptive. And so the good news is there is a cure. And guess what? MonaVie has provided the cure for this problem. It's called the income disclosure statement. How many of you guys are aware that MonaVie has an income disclosure statement? Right on. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think about the income disclosure statement? Is that a good idea? How many of you guys think that'll actually help you build your business? Right on. You know what's interesting? Do you see very many other companies that have income disclosure statements anywhere close to that? They're not that many. I'll come back to that in a second. But that ought to make you think a little bit. Income disclosure statements, like the one MonaVie has, they're not just a good idea. They're not optional anymore. They're absolutely required. And the lack of an income disclosure statement from a company speaks volumes. Anyway, you have one. there's a specific policy on it. It's not just enough for the company to have it. You need to use it properly, and you need to make sure that your people are using it properly. Again, this is not optional. It's essential for your business. And I'm not going to belabor the policy. I just want to make sure, I imagine that everybody here is a leader or soon to be a leader, and so I'm guessing that, just by show of clapping, that everybody here has memorized the policies and procedures, right? Right on. Good answer. Okay, so again, I just want to encourage you to get familiar with that policy and make sure that you use it correctly. And the bottom line is, every single time the compensation plan is discussed, every single prospect, I don't care whether you're doing a one-on-one, hotel meeting, home meeting, every prospect needs to leave with a copy of that income disclosure statement. They are available on the website, easy to find, print out as many as you need, but don't be shy about using that. Okay, now I want to turn to that perennial favorite topic of product claims. How many of you guys know that MonaVie is really beneficial for your health? Okay. Absolutely. I think there's a little bit of tension, though, between what you hear from the sales and marketing and scientific people and what you're going to hear from the legal people or the compliance people. And, the problem is that, there's this massive body of science, of evidence out there that supports the incredible benefits of acai. The problem is the state of the law hasn't kept up with the state of science. And that's why there's a little bit of tension. How many of you guys believe that there is a relationship between nutrition and the prevention or treatment or cure of disease? How many of you guys believe that? There absolutely is, and even the Congress of the United States has officially acknowledged that. They did that actually many, many years ago in 1994. However, and here's the problem, not only was this true in the income claims arena, but it's also true in the product arena. And if you only take one thing away from my presentation, and I hope you take something away, it's this. Just because it's true doesn't mean you can say it. Seems really frustrating, but that's true. Just because it's true doesn't mean you can say it. And just like I explained with income claims, even though you can substantiate your income, even though you can document it, even though it's truthful and fair, without the provision of complete information, it's deceptive. And the same is true in the product arena. And we've actually got two limitations that limit what we can say about products. Number one, MonaVie is a food. It is not a drug. Does everybody understand that? Okay, MonaVie is a food, not a drug. Therefore, we can't make drug claims. A drug is defined as anything intended for use in the cure, treatment, prevention, or mitigation of disease. We can't make those claims. Now, there are tons of claims that we can make, and I'm going to spend the next 5 hours talking about those with you. Okay, just be sure to lock the doors. And the other thing we can't do is we can't make unsubstantiated claims, okay? Just because, Aunt Minerva took the product and she doesn't have arthritis anymore doesn't mean that you can make that claim, because we can't substantiate it. Dr. Schaus does a lot of studies, a lot of trials. He knows how to substantiate things. The rest of us really don't. And so just because, an individual got a great result on the product, that doesn't equal substantiation. Substantiation is defined as competent and reliable scientific evidence, which is further defined as tests, studies, analyses conducted by competent and qualified professionals, yada, yada, yada. And so, you may have one testimonial, you may have 10 testimonials, you may have 1,000 testimonials. They'll never equal competent and reliable scientific evidence. They are what's known as anecdotal evidence. But again, MonaVie's provided the cure. For me, I kind of use this metaphor of a football field. And like I said, there is much that can be said about the product. And I encourage you guys to really become passionate students about what can be said, okay? But the regulatory arena is kind of like a football field. We've got this piece of real estate. It's 100 feet wide and 300 feet long, okay? And we need to learn how to make maximum use out of every square inch of that piece of real estate.